Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for round number 5 around the circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya. I think I've said that right, but I'm not too sure anyway. But my name is Jay Cole, taking you guys through this as always. And finally, once again, I'm joined alongside with Mr. RJW Ross. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing great. I can't wait to get back on this game. I took a very nice week off, avoiding Portugal at all costs. But now I'm back, and we get to do Spain, and this track's actually good this year. So
Certainly is, and I am looking forward to seeing how this is going to go down. As you say, it's made an improvement. Obviously, the last chicane is no longer there anymore. It is just a long, or well, it's basically just two corners instead of it being about 5 different corners to try and take in that last part there. So it just makes it flow a lot nicer and makes the times a lot quicker. As you can see, it is one-shot qualifying because this week is a sprint race this week. So.
race.
Sprint race, yes, exactly. So the guys are already getting themselves readied up. I reckon probably 2 of them may have forgotten their setup just because I feel like they might have done. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it is going to go. Cam has actually just said to me that it could be possibly wet in the sprint race, so that's going to make that all the more exciting to see how that's going to go down. But it's put me on with Rex to ride on board with, and I know Rex is a little bit handy around this circuit, so we might just sort of stick on board with him for the time being. Full grid this evening as well. I think that might be the first time so far this season we've actually had a full grid, so that's very, very good to see. And in case you guys are also wondering about the standings, in fact, we'll probably just chat about the standings after the qualifying sessions. So, yeah, sticking on board at the moment with Rex down in P12 as they make their way through the. It can be a bit of a tricky section. I've seen it has caught out quite a few people previously, but it hasn't caught out the American. He's now making his way on the second DRS straight at the end of Sector 2's 50.7. Sitting in P10 at the moment. It's looking very sort of tight up top, though. A lot of shuffling around going on with Connor O'Keefe, MCR, and Farrell. Brent, for some reason, nowhere to be seen in this top 5. He's in fact down in 7th, and in fact Rex has just overtaken him. So as he's making his way around the final corner, now comes Rex. The times should now start to flood in. Time on pole. It is MCR around his home track with an 11.6. And again, I know it's one-shot qualifying, so it's all going to be very close and compact, but I think MCR just beat that by about a 10th on qualifying ahead of Connor O'Keefe.
Yeah, it looked like that. MCR puts it on. Wow, over a tenth and a half in one-shot quality. That is quite good. MCR on pole. Uh, that is. He's not normally the guy for qualifying, but there you go. Clearly had something in the bag this week.
Yeah, certainly did. I think his home fans, I think, will say with that. But he is the one that is qualified on pole for the sprint race with Connor O'Keefe alongside him in 2nd. Farrell in 3rd with Cordy Kicker in 4th. Ryan Beat in 5th. Rex in 6th. White Dry Wine in 7th for championship leader Brent in 8th. With Mr. Wouter in 9th. Matt's in 10th. Jordan JJT in 11th. Jay Hings in 12th. Lars in 13th. Stomper in 14th. Harry F was in 15th. Didn't manage to catch the rest of them. I think Ryan Belshaw, or Ryan B, the Red Bull Ryan, shall I say, was in 16th. The Mercedes Ryan isn't actually here, so I'll just say it was Ryan B anyway. I think he was 16th. I think Julie Show was 17th. I couldn't catch the rest of them, but I think Old School. I saw Old School was down in like 19th, and Stomper was 20th. I think that was the order anyway. So yeah, as I said, been told by Cam it could possibly be wet in the sprint race. I'll run through the championship standings very quickly and then we'll get your thought on that as well, though, Ross. So, Brent is on the 69 points. Nice number. Currently leading the championship. Farrell in 2nd with 51 points after missing a race in China. White Try is in 3rd with 43 points. So, they're the top 3 within the championship. After Brent taking the win last week and Farrell taking 2nd. And then Matt Tibos taking 3rd position as well. So, White Try, as I say, is in 3rd. Mr. Wowser is in 4th with 32 points. Cordy Kicker in 5th with 30 points, making a bit more of a gain on Mr. Valter, the reserve. Cam Kate is in 6th with 28, Matt Tibos in 7th with 27, Lars in 8th with 25, MCR in 9th with 23, and the Scottish Jordan rounding out the top 10 with 18 points to his name, tied with Jay Hings as well. So, yeah, very sort of close within the standings overall on the formation lap now, Ross. And yeah, I mean, other than obviously MCR in the qualifying, anyone sort of standing out to you for that?
Not Not particularly. Um, no real surprises other than MCR. I guess Brent being down in 8th. Um, who else? YHYY a bit further down, but YHYY normally isn't the most consistent qualifier. Some weeks he is at the front, some weeks he isn't. So that's not really, yeah, no real surprise. I mean, Cam K is very far down. So I don't know what happened. Cam K's in 17th, so that is a bit of a shock. But no, everything else looks, yeah, nothing out of place really.
Fair enough, fair enough. And yeah, I was expecting, as you were saying, with Brent down in 8th, I would have expected maybe Farrell to capitalise on that and maybe get himself on pole. But yeah, no, MCR the one that has chucked it on pole. Conor O'Keefe finally managing to make a race for this season. I don't think he's... sorry, he only raced once so far, and that was in China, and he got 3rd place and qualifying in 2nd around here as well. So we'll see what he's able to get done in this one as well. Looking at the tyre strategy though, a lot of guys are on a set of the softs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people are only on the mediums. Now the softs, I know they can go, I think it's about 5 or 6 laps before they die off. So that means then the medium runners are then going to be then within the running of catching up to the rest of the soft runners. So the guys that are on the softs need to make a very good getaway, especially Connor on MCR, because MCR and Farrell are the 2 that are on a set of the mediums at the front. YHY and Brent are also on the mediums. Jay Hings and then Cam in 17th down on the mediums as well. So yeah, sprint race, 11 laps on the sprint. Hopefully with YHY getting a qualifier from there, it doesn't actually glitch it or anything like that, but hopefully we should be about to get this one straight underway. Very quick, never mind, I was going to say very quick, Ross, prediction, who do you think?
Sprint, probably the same top 3 I'd go for actually.
No problem. So with 5 red lights are on for MCR at the front, Conor O'Keefe alongside him. The lights are out and away they go. And it looks like Conor O'Keefe is the one that has had the better start of the 2 of them. Let's see if he's going to be able to get alongside him going down in towards turn number 1. In fact, Farrell has had the best start of the 3. Getting a bit of a bad camera angle, but Farrell trying to go around the outside of Conor O'Keefe in towards turn number 1. He gets it done. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, but the Irishman manages to get the move done. Conor O'Keefe, in fact, going back around the outside into turn number 2 and having the inside of turn 3 and a bit of contact between him and I think that was Ryan B in the Red Bull. And there's also a hash that's gone off of Cordy Kickers. So massive collision going down in towards turn number 3. Rex is already up to P3 as well. Jordan trying to line up alongside of YHY and go down around the outside, not able to do so. It means that Mats is actually going to go down the inside of the Scotsman. Matt's now up into P6. Stomper already up 6 positions, maybe a 7th one on the Scotsman. See if he's able to do a little bit of contact between the pair of the Stomper, holding it around the outside of turn number 6, I think that was, and manages to get the move done on Jordan. Jordan not exactly having a very good start after all of that collision going on. In fact, he's losing yet another place. Brent now going down the inside of him, making up that position once again and kind of forces Jordan out ever so slightly. Jay Hings, though, trying to see if he can sweep it around the outside of the Scotsman. I think the Scotsman's just going to shut that door on him, and that means that Harry F is going to try and go down the inside of Jay Hings as well. Yet another spinner of Julie Show, and that is Harry F up into now P10. Lars, though, goes for a bit of a switchback on him, coming through the final corner and actually gets the move done. And now Hepula Boy as well on his debut manages to get the move done on Harry F as well. So already a jam-packed field sprint race, and we're only on lap number 2 here, Ross. A lot of collisions went down on that first lap though.
Yeah, a lot of chaos towards the start. I think it was the 3 cars at the start. Farrell, Cooler Kicker and Ryan B. Looked like Farrell had to back out, and then there was just met in the middle. Julia Show had a spin. Yeah, lots going on. But MCR, Conor O'Keefe, kept their gap at the front. They are, well, Rex is all over the back of Conor O'Keefe at the moment. Oh, as I say that, he goes wide. But MCR doing a very good job on the medium compounded tyres as well. Managed to gap Conor O'Keefe. So clearly, the qualifying wasn't just a fluke. There is a bit of pace in that Aston Martin today. MCR's got it. He's clearly been trying. He wants to win this race. He wants to win the Spanish Grand Prix. So, and he's going for it. And there's the fastest lap to start off the sprint race. And it's beaten straight away. But, oh well.
Yeah, it certainly has. But yeah, MCR has had a very good start so far. DRS is now going to be enabled as run lap number 3. The two Alfa Romeos, sorry, just changing positions. I think Mark knows that he's not going to be able to try and keep up with his teammate on that. So he's going to try and hold back Ryan B for as long as possible. Very unfortunate, as to say, for Corley Kicker. I think just being a bit of a passenger in that incident that happened in the first lap, as Stomper going down the inside of Matt's through turn number 4, and Hepula Boy as well going on for a move on Crack as well through turn 4 as well, as you just seen in the background. So yeah, a lot of position changes going on in the sprint race. If in case you knew, the League of Europe, it's actually not the top 12 that get the points, it'll be the top 10, and goes from basically 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 all the way down to 10th, who only gets 1 point. As all Stomper, massive moment making his way up the hill. Is that going to allow Max to go back down the inside in towards the spoon section of the circuit? No, he doesn't, but Stomper does go very wide out of the corner and goes off the track, so it'll probably be a warning that he gets in game for that one. But Connor O'Keefe needs to do his best to try and catch up to the back of MCR. I don't think he's going to, and I think Rex is going to have the DRS, so we'll see if the American's able to get a move done on the Ferrari out in front. Don't think he's going to be close enough at this present moment, but you can see that he is just gaining ever so slightly. He's thinking about it going down the inside, but no, the American does back off of that one. Just wants to bide his time for the time being and play it a bit smart. We'll see if he's able to potentially get a move done very soon, as Jay Hings getting a move done on Cam for P14, and Crack getting a move that done once again on Hepula Boy for P12.
Yeah, as Mats and Stomper still going at it. Stomper had the inside for turn 4. Is Matt's going to back out? No, they're still side by side at turn 5. A little bit of contact, but they both survived that. And Stomper gets through. Brent up behind this. No, the gap is forming now in front of Stomper for between 5th and 6th. So anyone that wants to get through this group is going to have a lot of time to make up afterwards, as Brent just stuck in behind. They're all really stuck in behind, these two. Jordan's there, Lars is there, as Brent does actually try and go around the outside of Matt at the top of the hill. Is he going to get it as they drop down into the new, well, yeah, the new penultimate corner? He can't go around the outside there, as Rex sets the fastest lap of the race. It has closed up at the front, and actually MCR was under a little bit of pressure there from Connor O'Keefe, but he holds on, as does Mats in behind Stomper. Stomper already derating by the looks of it, so that is interesting. Lap 5 just started. It's going to be a struggle if everyone's still got a lot of battery to use. So as there's a spin, and that is Stomper, literally as I just said, it's Stomper spins through turn 4. Don't quite know how, don't know if that was too much grass on the inside, but all the way down to 16th position now. That is, yeah, that is worst case scenario nearly on that spin, and it was looking quite good for Stomper until that point, but now it's a lot of work to do from there.
Yeah, he certainly has got a lot of work to do from that as well. So I think I saw Jordan drop back behind Brent as well, so I don't know if he was involved with that or if he was just trying to get out of the way. I can only assume, I think he may have tried to get out of the way of that Stomper spin. Maybe just got a bit too early on the acceleration through turn 4, and then that's just kind of happened to him. So that's the only thing I can assume, but we'll never know, I suppose, until maybe the end of this race. But I think we're now going to see the move go down. Brent, our championship leader, is probably going to go for the move down the inside on Matt's in towards turn number 1. Matt's going to try and hold it around the outside of his fellow Dutchman. He's going to have the inside for turn number 2. Brent's going to have to back off of that one. Jordan's now going to try and go around the outside of turn number 3, but I think the Scotsman's just going to slot back in behind the 2 Dutchmen, fighting it out for P6. Brent's going to have the inside for turn number 4. Matt's does leave him that room. Still just a little bit of wheel banger between the pair of them. Brent's going to have the outside again for turn 5 now, and I think with the traction he's gotten a lot better of a run than AlphaTauri out next to him. Well, he's still side by side of him, but I don't think Mats is going to be able to hold on for much longer. Still saying that, they're both still side by side, and Mats has been a little bit tagged around, and Mats has gone around. So I think Matt said last week that he wasn't going to report Brent for something. Maybe this time around we might see a report come down between these two, as that's now Crack trying to go down the inside. Oh sorry, Crack is trying to actually defend from Lars in P9, and Jay Hings and Harry F fighting for the final point in the sprint as well. Harry F going to hold it down the inside of the third to last corner and now through the penultimate corner as well. So now the Red Bull is able to hold on to that as Happy Boy having a massive moment, massive tank slapper out of the penultimate corner. And you can see Harry F is also derating. So a lot of moves I think are going to go down in towards turn 1 and a lot of aggression trying to go for it. They're almost 3 wide going down in towards turn number 1. In fact, they were a 3 wide very briefly. Lars and Crack round the outside goes Lars, have the inside for turn number 2, and I think he gets that move done. Crack has to back out of that one, but Jordan now once again going to try and hold it around the outside through turn 3, and another move done against him in turn number 2, but now Crack again down the inside of turn 4, and I think we might see the Williams come out on top of that one. Saying that, there's still a bit of wall banging between the pair of them, and Crack did not leave enough room for Jordan there. Jordan was leaving that room for Crack, and yeah, unfortunate for Jordan, he's now just sort of been shoved out from him, and Crack makes that mistake as well, so now it allows Lars to then just get away from him. I think now we're starting to see those soft runners are definitely starting to struggle a lot more now as Geordie Show out of the session. Is that in... No, that was actually on pack, and yeah, safety cars, so that's now going to bring the pack together. MCR's not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, crash out of turn 5 is a... I mean, we saw Crack have a little bit of a wobble coming out of turn 5 just after that battle with Jordan, but it's a weird place to drop it and actually find the wall. So I'm quite curious as to how Julie Show's actually done that, but full course safety car allows someone like Coolie Kicker to catch right back up. Has anyone gone into the pits? Yes, they have. It's an interesting call because personally I don't think there's enough laps to do anything. But it's worth the hit, I guess, if you're towards the back. And actually, Farrell's changing a front wing, so might have picked up front wing damage either at some point in the race or maybe on lap 1 and just been suffering with it the whole time.
Yeah, I think that would have been from that lap 1 incident because I think he did get tagged around and then got tagged again in that incident in lap 1. So, yeah, I think the person that's also going to benefit massively from that, from all of that that's happened though, is Brent. Brent was about 4.5 seconds behind these top 5 guys. Now it's brought him back into play with the rest of them, and well, yeah, he can now try and see if he can get up a bit further in the sprint race. Rex as well was just completely stuck behind Conor O'Keefe the entire time and allowed MCR to run away. Now this might give the American a bit more of a chance. Cool down his tyres and see if he can try and pounce on the Ferrari out in front of him. Of course, safety car won't be in at the end of this lap. It will probably be in at the end of next lap because we have to have at least 2 laps of racing on this game. So, yeah, it will definitely be in at the end of next lap no matter what, even if the guys at the back haven't caught up. But hopefully by that point, the guys at the back would have definitely have caught up. Coolie Kicker as well, by the way, still riding around in 19th at this present moment. Somehow didn't manage to actually catch up to the guys that have made that pit stop, so I'm not sure if he must have had another moment after all of that had gone down, but yeah, very strange. In fact, that's actually Old School coming into the pits. I'm surprised he's made his way into the pits because he could have been on for a top 10 finish, especially with Jay Hings' penalty in front of him. So, and he would have seen Jay Hings had that penalty. So very, very strange why he's come in.
He could still, depending on how much the pack bunches up. I mean, you said it, 2 laps we can have after the safety car ends. So yeah, it will be in this lap, but still, is the field going to spread out that much? It's going to be close, and obviously with fresh tyres, Old School's actually put on mediums, so maybe wanted to save a set of softs for the race. But interesting call. Everyone else that pit went onto the softs. But yeah, with 2 laps, it's going to be difficult. The soft runners that haven't pit are going to really struggle. Because you said, what, 6 laps? 5 laps, 6 laps? The softs go? They're already done 8. It's lap 9, so we've had 2 under safety car, but yeah, you're still looking at 8 laps worth of wear, and it's going to be like driving an ice, I would have thought, a little bit for the last 2 laps, and anyone on the mediums is going to be living life, I think.
Certainly are. Safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap, and I can see why Old School did do that pit stop. He wants to go on those mediums and see if he can make up any of the positions on the guys that didn't make that pit stop under the safety car. Obviously, the top 13 are all the ones that didn't make a pit stop. With only 2 laps left to go, We'll see what the Spaniard is able to do on this restart. Is Conor O'Keefe going to be able to keep up with MCR, or is MCR going to be able to emerge victorious in this sprint race? Well, only time will tell. With 2 laps left to go, we'll find that answer out very, very shortly, as MCR has now opted to go before the penultimate corner. Conor O'Keefe has kind of kept up with him on that one, but YHYY was definitely caught sleeping on that restart, and Brent all over the back of Mr. Wouter. So here we go. 2-lap shootout now to the finish line for the sprint. And MCR, again, a good restart, but Conor O'Keefe just seems to be that much quicker in a straight line in comparison to the Spaniard in front of him. Top 3 already have completely run away from YHYY on that restart, and YHYY now massively under pressure from Mr. Vata as well. No changes as they went down in towards turn number 1 and 2, so they're all still running it evenly at the moment, as I think it was Rex, a little bit of a tap from Conor O'Keefe, or Conor O'Keefe maybe just had a bit of a moment, and that now means that the American is out in front of Conor and can now have a charge at MCR.
Conor O'Keefe had a massive slide on the brakes. I think might have just slightly locked the rears, and yeah, went a bit deep, bit sideways, and Rex is going to go straight through. Thank you very much. And he goes to chase after MCR for this sprint race win. And it has allowed YHYY to close back up within a second. As he's made another mistake there, Conor O'Keefe, and he's now going to have to really watch behind him because YHYY is right there now. Yellow flag, that is Matt having a little off at turn 11. But no DRS, it's the final lap already. MCR with a 1.1 second lead as he brings him down the final straight, the pit straight for the final time. And looking very comfortable out in the lead. Has looked very comfortable since lap 1 really, so MCR in complete control of this sprint.
Oh, Stomper's got some front wing damage. I'm not sure what has happened with the McLaren, but yeah, he was one of the ones that put on to a fresh set of the softs, and now it's not worked out for him, and he's in fact just retired out on track, so hopefully Max is able to get around that. What actually happened to Max, it was actually Farrell that tapped him in the back whilst going through turn number 10, so yeah, I think the Irishman might have a student inquiry coming his way after this race is done. But yeah, MCR has just, he's led it from start to finish, and he's done a sublime job of it, and he's not been pressured whatsoever. Looks like there's going to be a move going down, though, really quickly for the final points position. In fact, it's Ryan B and Jay Hings. Ryan B down the inside of Jay Hings, forcing the AlphaTauri out of the circuit. Probably, again, potential another stewards inquiry after that. But MCR around the final corner for the sprint race. He is the sprint race winner, and he is your pole sitter for round number 5 of Season X. Rex finishes it in second, and Conor O'Keefe rounding out the top 3. YHY in 4th with Mr. Vouter in 5th. Brent in 6th. Disappointing result for Brent on the sprint race. But again, he's got another 20, I think it's 29 laps or 30 odd laps to make up on that. So see if he is able to potentially do it for this evening. I think it's actually 33 laps. So he's still got all those laps to make up. So it's not over yet for Brent. And see if they're able to do that. But yeah, MCR in an absolute another league of his own in the sprint race. I'll just run through the rest of the top 10. So Lars is in 7th, with Kraken 8th, Jordan in 9th, and Harry F picking up the final point in the sprint for the League of Europe. Ryan B in the Red Bull in 11th, with Hepula Boy in 12th, Kanka in 13th, Coolie Kicker in 14th, Old School 15th, James in 16th, Farrell in 17th after that collision in lap number 1. Matt's in 18th for Stomper in 19th and Julius Show at the very back end of the grid. Farrell has got it all to do to be able to make up any positions and making sure that it's basically a damage limitation at this point in this championship between him and Brent.
Yeah, it is. I'd just like to say, before the race has even started, this is already MCR's highest point scoring week of the season. Just the 10 points from winning the sprint. So this is the weekend, the week he needs for the championship. He's currently, how many points behind? That is 46 points behind Brent after 4 races. So that'll just to close it up, and got a massive chance to win this race. So could put him back in contention. He's currently 9th in the championship, a bit of a subpar Portugal. I don't quite know what happened there, but the points don't speak very highly of it. But yeah, you say Farrell has got everything to do, and someone that was a bit of a non-entity, really, I thought, in that race. He was there, but he wasn't at the same time. YHYY was just... He was towards the front, but you didn't really notice him, which is normally the role MCR has. But yeah, YHYY third in the championship. Just not really not really involved with anything. And see if that changes in this race.
Certainly could, because I mean, as you say, him and Brent are right next to each other on track, so there's still a battle going on between the pair of them as we're gearing up for the actual formation lap. We'll see what tyres these guys have opted to go on, because as you say, a few of them went on the softs in the sprint, a few of them went on mediums in the sprint, so I reckon there's going to be some different tyre compounds going on, and everyone in the top 6 on mediums except for Connor O'Keefe. Lars in 7th on the softs. So he look out for him to see if he can make up some positions from the start. Crack and 8th is on hards. Then it's Jordan and Harry on the mediums. Ryan B in the Red Bull is on the hards. Hepula Boy on the mediums and Kanke on the hards. And then it's just Cody Kicker and Old School on a set of softs. Jay Hinks, Farrell on the hards, so they're looking to go a bit longer on the skids. Matt's Stomper on the softs and Julie Show on the hards as well. And I just want to say, congratulations to Stomper for being probably the first person to put in a steward's inquiry straight after a sprint race and before the actual feature race has begun. So, yeah, credit to you for that one. But, yeah, MCR the one that is out on top, and we'll see what he's able to do in this race going forward.
Don't think the stewards are going to be very happy with Stomper retiring on track and then leaving the session before the race even starts. But we'll see how that one goes, as Lars and Crack have both been disqualified from formation lap, which is a great start to their race. As I am intrigued by the tyre strategies. I have no idea what tyres work around here, because this game is completely different to previous games. So. Yeah, the softs are an interesting one. Clearly looking to gain the positions quickly. Watch out for Farrell though. Farrell is going to go as long as he can. And just maybe hope for a safety car to get some free positions out of, as they finally make it back round to their grid slots.
Certainly do, and I think this is looking like it's anyone but MCR's. Sorry, it's not MCR's one to lose from the looks of things. So we'll see what the Spaniard's able to do. He won the sprint race. Let's see if he's able to do it in a feature race. Or can Rex have a very good start and put that challenge to the Spaniard, who, as I say, is on an absolute charge at the moment. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights for now the feature race of round number 5. The lights are out and away they go very quickly. And again, Rex having a better start of those two. See if Connor O'Keefe is able to have a decent start as well. No, he's in fact getting challenged by YHYY and Brent. Brent already trying to go down the inside of YHYY and go down the inside of Connor O'Keefe in towards turn number 1 as well. Rex has to back out of that one ahead of MCR. So MCR does maintain the lead. Rex has managed to get himself up into 3rd position already. And a lot of changes going down throughout the field. YHYY now all over the back of Connor O'Keefe in towards turn number 4. He's going to try and maybe go for the send down the inside on the Ferrari. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. In fact, yeah, the Ferrari goes out a bit too wide out of the corner, and now the Finn manages to get himself up into P4. He needed to get that move done so he can keep up with the rest of the medium runners, but Connor O'Keefe now down into 5th position. Not necessarily a bad start for Connor O'Keefe. If you can keep with those other medium runners, then that will the race will come back to him a little bit later on. Lars up into 6th despite being disqualified from the qualifying session. Hepula Boy up into P11 as well, and not, as I say, there was a lot of changes, but there wasn't too many that actually went down for a lot of the people. See if Hepula Boy is maybe able to get the move done on Mr. Valter. No, he is not. A couple of side-by-side battles going on though. Ryan B and Crack, as Crack dropped down to P13 after all of that, and Hepula Boy and Mr. Valter are both side-by-side, but Mr. Valter shuts that door on the new Mercedes driver, but Ryan B not able to get the move done on Crack. So Crack again, very, very bad start from him, but the rest of the guys all looking like they got away relatively clean, and yeah, I think it is probably the better of the starts that we had since that sprint race. But Ryan B maybe looking to see if he can go running outside of Cracking towards turn 1. Now going to try and see if he can drop it down the inside. He goes for the inside move on Crack and does the Max Verstappen on him, just completely forces him off the track, and that's Crack out of the race. Crack is out of the race on lap number 2, and we've got a virtual safety car. Ryan B, that was not the best of moves to do, and that's already our first retiree of the session.
I didn't quite see that, so I'm gonna have to watch it. But from the way you said it, it's just. Let me have a look. Oh, that's an interesting way to retire. That it almost looked like it was in slow motion, but yeah, it was very aggressive from Ryan B. But I don't know if Ryan B's actually at fault for that crash, because Crack goes straight over the, like, what are they called? The
sausage curves and such.
Yeah, like, he goes straight over them, and you know the risk when you're going over them. Like, he doesn't have to go out and over them as well. He could have backed off and gone to the left. So yes, it's aggressive from Ryan B. He does put him off the track, but does he put them onto that it cause him to spin into the wall? I don't think so. It's just a bit clumsy as the VSC gets going again. And actually, Rex had a great restart. I don't know if he was slightly side by side with MCR as it went green, but there is a bit of contact. MCR's forced off the road. Rex takes the lead from MCR on the virtual safety car restart, but MCR clearly not happy with that, trying to look back up the inside of Rex. Nothing going there, but Rex now has the lead on lap 3 as he goes a bit wide. MCR still sticking his nose around the outside, but Rex comes across, and actually Brent has just punted MCR all the way around. So all that hard work MCR's had just undone by Brent behind. MCR now down to 15th behind his own teammate. No, 15th, just ahead of his own teammate. Sorry. Wow, that's changed the race completely. Rex got a mega restart, but it all got a bit tight. Brent's not even capitalised from that. He's behind YHYY now after that contact with MCR. So yeah, tough luck for MCR. He's got a lot of work to do, but luckily for him, still 30 laps to do so. And with the way safety cars are going around here, you never know. It could just be timed perfectly for him.
Certainly could be, and I'm going to watch Lars try and go around the outside of Connor O'Keefe in towards turn number 1. Connor O'Keefe's going to have the inside. Both braking very late. Connor O'Keefe as well, having a bit of a tank slapper, going rear locked it, hit the side of Lars, and then they both ended up having a bit of a moment, and now meant that Jordan got in front of him. Connor O'Keefe has gone off of the circuit. I said he needed to try and play it patient, and the race will come back to him, and now that's just completely gone out of there, and he has lost that front left end plate on his front wing after that spin, and Pam has also gone off out of turn number 5, so I'm not sure what happened with him, but a lot has just gone down in the last couple of corners. And also I can see a AlphaTauri going off. I think that was Jay Hings as well. MCR, after getting spun around and went down to 15th a lap before, he's now back up to P9 because of everybody else in front making those mistakes. So now MCR on the charge. He's 3.5 seconds now behind Hepula Boy if he can get the move done on Ryan B in towards turn number 10, but not going to be able to do so for the time being. Probably just going to wait until the next DRS zone where he can get the move done and then just try and drive away from the rest of the guys. But yeah, that all kicked off literally in that lap. I'm not sure what had gone on with that. I only saw Connor O'Keefe, as I say, just rear locking that, as now the move for the lead is going to go down. YHY going to go down the inside of Rex. I think Brent's going to try and follow him as well in towards turn number 1. I don't think Brent's actually going to be able to. He's just going to hold back for the time being. The American just at bay, or managing to keep at bay from Brent, but now means that the fin of YHY goes into the lead. MCR does get that move done on Ryan B into turn 1, so that's now him up to P8. 4.5 seconds now behind Hepula Boy. He needs to try and do what he can. He needs to basically do what he did in the sprint and just drive as fast as he can and try and catch up to those guys out in front. But yeah, all kicked off. Lars is now down into 4th. Up to 4th, but 1.5 seconds behind because of that contact with Connor O'Keefe.
Yeah, utter madness. Literally just saying MCR was down in 15th, and then within a lap he's back to 8th. So halved the amount of places lost instantly. Yeah, with Connor O'Keefe, we saw in the sprint race he was having problems after that restart with the rear lock-in. So that's not new. It must have been a grip issue. The grip goes, the rear lock-in starts, and he had no grip on the hards at the start of the race. So maybe just a little tweak of the brake bias might have helped a little bit there, but it's done now, and Connor O'Keefe now in 19th place. Brent all over the back of YHRY for the lead of this race. The top three have separated themselves. I think there was just a move there. I don't know who that was, but it was one of the Red Bulls and the Mercs, I think.
Interestingly enough, it was actually Ryan B getting back past MCR. So MCR didn't manage to get enough of a gap ahead of Ryan B, and meant that Ryan B could then just go for the move back down in towards turn 1. Old School having a bit of a spinner around turn number 3. The game that is very hard to bin. Mr. Unbinnable has binned it once again. I'm going to keep on bringing this up every single week until until he wins a race at this point. So, Mark, unfortunately for you, this is going on for a lifetime. But YHRY is still managing to hold on to the lead of the race for the time being. Lars is in fact actually caught up to the back of this pack now. So he is now brought himself into this top 4. Jordan as well, I think, is just about on the cusp of getting himself into that top 4, but I think he's just out of it for the time being. So unfortunately for the Scotsman, he's having to try and play a bit more of a catch-up. But I don't think Harry F is close enough to going for any sort of move on the Scotsman anyway. So he's got another lap to try and gain up to the back of these guys. Sprint now going to try and go down the inside of YHRY in towards turn number 1. Basically the battle of the championship so far, as Farrell's down in 12th. He's still getting at least 1 point for the time being, but yeah, Brent not able to go for the move on YHYY at this present moment. And speaking of Farrell, in fact, he's actually all over the back of Mats. I think those softs are now definitely going off for the other guys, because Farrell, he's trying to see if he can go for the move on Mats in towards turn number 4. He had it down the inside of turn 3, and I think Alfa Romeo might just about get this move done a little. I don't know if there was a little bit of contact between the pair of them there, but the Irishman gets up into P11 now and has got to try and chase down the 2 Aston Martins of MCR and Geordie Show. MCR, interestingly enough, did not manage to get the move back done on Ryan B after all of that, so he's still behind the Red Bull. And yeah, I think that means he's just going to be held up just that bit more if he doesn't get the move done on Ryan B. Unless those mediums are starting to die out, though.
I was on board with MCR down there. He had enough. I just don't think he wanted to lunge it quite as much as it would have been. He would have wanted it to just to sail past a little bit easier. And now the gap is 8 temps. It's a lot bigger than it was. It was 5 temps coming into the straight last time. So those softs, those mediums might be falling off a little bit, as there is a move for the lead of this race. Brent takes the lead from YHYY. Rex still sat in behind, but this is these two are going to trade places for a while unless Brent can kick on. But he hasn't shown me anything that's going to say he's going to fly off into the distance, as Old School makes a move past the AI of Stomper. That Stewart support's going to come to good use. MCR now behind his teammate. Really bad lap from the last time around from MCR, as Connor O'Keefe does the fast lap of the race. And now Jordan has just... Oh, there's a little bit of a wobble from Rex. That might give Lars a chance. I think Jordan snuck into DRS. Yes, he has. Lars up the inside of Rex. Rex can hold it around the outside. There's a little bit of contact again, but Lars is through this time, and they're out of a DRS range from the top 2 now. So YHY and Brent have cleared the rest after that little slide from Rex, who surely re-overtakes down the pit straight. But Jordan is now right on the back of them, making it a 5-car battle at the front.
Yeah, it certainly is. And in fact, Lars actually was using a lot of his ERS just so that Rex wouldn't get back past him. And now Lars managed to hold on to P3. Hepula Boy as well got the move done on Harry F. And interestingly enough, MCR got an overtaken by Julie Show. So I think those mediums, in comparison to the hards, are definitely starting to die off for those guys. Because, yeah, MCR, he's now just losing time to both Ryan B and Julie Show, who are on a set of the hard tyres. So, yeah, MCR not having the best of nights well, he was having a very good night for the sprint race, and then the feature race came around, and unfortunately down into 10th position. But again, still quite a lot of laps left to go. We're only on lap number 9 of 33. It feels like we've been going on for quite some time already, and it's only lap number 9, but there's just been so much action that's gone on. As I say, it just feels like it's been a lot, as that's a spinner at the back. That is Connor O'Keefe once again, out of turn number 2. I think just having a bit of a, maybe just took a bit too much curve through turn 2, meant that he's had that, had that mistake go on. But yeah, the top 5 now all within this DRS train led by Brent. And I don't think Brent is going to feel too much pressure going in towards turn 1. White is starting to gain on him actually, however. And you can see just the overspeed that he's got. The Finn, he closes up significantly to the back of the Dutchman. But yeah, again, I just don't think he needs to be a little bit closer if he wanted that opportunity of going for a move. As Ryan B and Geordie Show, I think, were just side by side of each other very briefly, and the Aston Martin manages to maintain that position up ahead of the Red Bull. MCR, though, has now caught himself back up into this little battle between these guys, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a grudge match going down between the 3 of them. Obviously, Geordie Show and MCR both being teammates, but that's not going to stop these lot from just having that battle go on. But you got to think, surely, that the medium runners have got to make a pit stop soon, just to try, just to make sure that they don't lose as much time as Conor O'Keefe into the pits. Don't know if that's going to be for retirement or not, but yeah, I think realistically, surely we've got to see these medium runners maybe make a pit stop soon, especially Lars. Lars on the softs, I don't know how, but he's managing to keep these going. It's 10 laps on these softs now. And he's doing a very, very good job of keeping up with the rest of the medium runners. I thought we would have seen something very similar to the sprint, where the medium runners would just start to, you know, go up on ahead. And as I say, that lasts us into the pits. Should probably chuck on a set of the hards to go to the end of this race.
I was about to say, we're talking about the medium runners coming into the pits, and none of the soft runners had entered the pits yet. So Lars being the first person to pit without an incident, as Cooler Kicker, his teammate, follows him in. So that is unfortunate timing for Cooler Kicker, because that might not reset in time for him to get a clean pit stop. But Lars has put on the hard, so part of me assumes that's to go to the end. And as we've seen so far, the hards aren't the easiest tyre to get up to temperature. They never are, but especially around here, they seem like they're not quite cooperating. He's come out just ahead of Old School. Now we see how much of an undercut there really is. I would have thought medium runners would be coming in for hards as well, sooner rather than later. But Lars also seemed like he was faster than the top 2. I don't know if that was just me, but he just seemed like he had something else. And he's pulled the trigger, obviously, being on the softer tyres, to pit early. But that's intriguing, because he did look like he had a bit better pace on tyres that should have been dead about 3 laps before that. So as they come through to start lap 12, all as you were, but gotta watch this gap from Lars and P12 to the leaders.
Let's have a look and see what the gap is between them. It's 22.5 seconds, the Dutchman to the Finn in the lead. So, as I say, we'll keep an eye out on that gap just as the laps go on until they make their pit stop. As MCR, I think, side by side with Ryan B, and in fact going well off the circuit through turn 3 means that Julie Show then goes back for the move on MCR. I don't know if MCR had contact with him, and in fact there's a full course safety car. I don't know what that's for. Is that Conor O'Keefe?
I did not see. No, because he was only just in front of the leaders, and he hasn't dropped back towards them. I don't have a clue what that's for, actually.
I found out who that's for. That is for the American of Mr. Cam came on. He's got no front wing, so I wonder what happened to Cam. Wow. And same with Old School. They both must have come into contact, because they've both got no front wing, which has now meant that the safety car has come out. Cam is in a very bad spot. Old School can pit and go on the hards and go to the end. Cam's going to have to come in, probably pit, change his front wing, and then maybe go back out on a set of the hards, or, well, I don't know actually, but yeah, Cam is in a massive spot of bother. Old School is not too bad for him, but now it allows the rest of the medium runners to come in. Very unfortunate for Lars, because now the rest of those guys out in front are going to have a pit stop head, or going to be able to have the free pit stop and basically come out ahead of the Haas driver. It was very unfortunate, but there's not much else to be said about it. And yeah, I think YHRY is going to inherit the race lead. In fact, no, Julie Show is one of the only ones that has actually stayed out. YHRY will emerge in second, Brent in third, Rex in fourth. Jordan jumps up ahead of Harry F and up into fifth.
Yeah, a lot of changing going on. I found out where they crashed.
Oh, okay.
Where the speed trap detection point is. So, just before you actually get into turn 1. So, from what I could see, Cam K was going for an overtake, and one of them's they either come together, just met in the middle, or one of them's come across, and they've kind of stuck to each other and both gone into the wall on the left. That is a bizarre one. I've not seen something like that for a very long time. That's just awareness. Like someone's just had a lack of awareness of where the other car is, and they've come together, and it's cost them both their front wing. Cam K's retired from the race. It's caused a safety car. Yeah, not a good one for either driver, really. Quite an easy thing to avoid that. So I think there will be a stewards report with that one, but from who, I don't know, because obviously I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, there certainly would be a stewards report going on with that one. I'm surprised Cam did retire from the session, though, because now that it's a safety car, I mean, he could at least gain onto the back of the guys and, you know, try and go with the mediums maybe to the end of the race. It'd be difficult, but doable. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just sort of, you know, try and see what he can do to go to the end of the race. Old School did pit, and it's pit on mediums, not on hards, but on mediums, and I don't know why he's done that. Again, I know the mediums, as I say, the mediums can go to the end, but not very well.
Yeah, it is a weird one. I have no answer for that one, really. Maybe just the safety car might take a bit of enough pain off it to make it worth it, but I don't know. You could see the mediums were struggling before lap 10, so to do 20 laps on them is not going to be fun whatsoever for him. But he's not the only one. There were a few of the hard runners that come in. Ryan B, Farrell, and Mats are all on, well, the softs or the mediums as well. So Farrell just took that opportunity to pit, but on the mediums again, it's going to get up the field quickly, but whether he can stay there. We're talking about Lars. Lars was obviously third. He's not lost out lots. He is still sixth. Obviously not fresh tyres compared to everyone. Julius Show still has to pit, so it's a net fifth, but it's not the worst case scenario. He's still in that lead group. So yeah, but we just have to see how much the softs were making a difference in that first stint compared to the mediums. Whether it was putting him a bit higher than maybe he'll finish, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, it's just giving everyone a free stop, really. As I think that was a Haas coming into the pits. That is Cool Kicker. Changing off of the hards. So maybe that is the way to go. Who knows?
Well, let's have a look and see. Or he might have hit the back of someone. We'll see. As he comes into the pits now, is he getting a change of front wing? No, he's going on a medium. So maybe that is the way to go then. But at the same time, I would have just stuck on the hards because they'll just come back to him later on in the race. And now he's just lost out a significant amount of positions. Conor O'Keefe has come back into the pits. For some strange reason, he's holding this safety car out for as long as possible. I don't understand why. But he's holding this safety car out for as long as possible. In fact, has actually gone back onto a set of the mediums. 5-lap-old mediums, shall I say. So I don't understand really what he's doing. But, yeah, I've also just got word from Cam that he had major rear wing damage. So that's the reason why he didn't carry on, which is fair enough. So, yeah, I completely understand that's the reason why he wouldn't have carried on from that. But, Geordie Show is going to need us. I think the safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap anyway, despite Conor O'Keefe not being on the back of the pack. I don't understand why he's just not caught up to the back of the pack and just stayed out on those hards, because again, he can take those to the end, but yeah, just very strange. But Geordie Show, we'll see what it is that we'll do on the restart. White Hawaii is still technically our net race leader, as Geordie Show's yet to make a pit stop. But could he cause a bit of calamity behind him? Could Brent maybe take a bit of an advantage of maybe White Hawaii going for a move on Geordie Show and then Brent go for the move on the pair of them? Or on at least onto White Hawaii so then he can go for the move on Geordie Show? Could Rex maybe even take a bit of an opportunity and same with Jordan, even same with Lars? As I say, they're our net top 5 at the moment, but we'll see what the Aston Martin is able to do on this restart. MCR, of course, was the Aston Martin that was leading previously. It's now the other Aston Martin of Geordie Show without a pit stop that is going to be leading us. And once he gets going, which is now out of the final corner, and again, YHYY has been caught napping ever so slightly because Brent is managing to stick onto the back of YHYY. Lars as well is trying to see if he can go down the inside, around the outside, sorry, of the Scotsman. May have to back out of that one on Jordan. In fact, a little bit of contact between him and Jordan. Harry F is going to go around the outside of turn 2, and now Lars has gone around. Think he was getting a bit too over ambitious with it all going down. Mats has gone for the move on Farrell. Mr. Watter as well going for the move on Stomper. MCR and Hepula Boy both side by side of each other going through turn 4, sorry. And now it allows Mats to go down the inside of MCR. He's going to try and hold it down the inside. And I think a little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them, but Mats is now up to P9. Hepula Boy into P8. MCR not having a very good restart, but everybody else sort of ran in single file other than Lars. Lars, again, as I say, just getting a bit too over ambitious and is now dropped down into P18. I think Farrell as well has got some front wheel damage. Yeah, front left end plate damage on the Irishman's car as YHYY gets the move done on Geordie Show into the lead of this race, and that is huge for him because he can put a car between himself and Brent, and I don't think Geordie Show is going to be able to put up a bit of a fight against Brent going down in towards turn number 1, but Brent does back off of that one, tries to get a better exit out of the final corner. Rex as well, the American, as well as Jordan, and in fact Jordan trying to go for the move on Rex in towards turn 1. Brent going to go down the inside of Geordie Show in towards turn 1. Got a nice little helicopter shot going on between these guys, and Brent now up into second position. YHY managed to get the car between them, but now Brent has basically just nullified that one and now up into second position. A car now separating Brent and Rex needs to get that move done on Geordie Show ASAP to have any shot of a win for this evening. Ryan B as well in the on the set of the soft compounded tyre has had an amazing restart up into 6th position. As I say that, he actually loses position now to his teammate, and in fact Harry F having a little bit of a moment as well out of the exit of turn number 5. I think just making sure that his teammate does go back on through as Rex gets that move done on Geordie Show, and now Ryan B going to go down the inside of Jordan, not in towards the fast right hander, not where you want to go for a move, and almost Harry F going into the back of Ryan B. Again, that's not really where you want to go for a move, and now Matt's trying to go down the inside of Harry F in towards turn number 10. And I think Happy Boy's going to try and go for it. And yeah, Geordie Show now out of the race. And it's another full course safety car. It's all picking off now, Ars.
I think that was actually Jordan tipping him round into his spin. I just looked to see him sideways. I am very confused. I don't know if it didn't look like he dropped it on his own, but Geordie Show in the wall. And a full course safety car yet again. MCR just... Yeah, I must have missed that. He pit, didn't he? And Farrell at the back as well, but they're going to come back into the pits. Ryan B goes onto a set of mediums now, so that soft run was for absolutely nothing. Back onto mediums. But really, nothing has changed at the top. Mats has managed to get himself up to P6. But yeah, there's not been a lot of change. That was just a lot of chaos for not much actually happening. I mean, how many laps of safety car out? 3? Like, in the pits it was 3 laps and then it's back out again. Everything happened and nothing happened at the same time. It was, bizarre. But YHY still leading the way from Brent, from Rex. Jordan now up in 4th, Harry F in 5th. And then you've got your medium runner Mats, who's just appeared out of nowhere really since that last safety car. Got himself up the field, and he's right in contention now. Whether, same question as we had before, whether the mediums last. He's already done 5 laps. Whether they do another 15, we'll have to wait and see. But he is in the mix, and that's where you just need to be there and see if it falls your way sometimes. And that's what he is. Matt's not in his greatest form this season, but he's got a chance here. So P6 at the moment. Yeah, I'd say probably another lap of this safety car. It'd probably be in at the end of this lap, seeing where MCR and Farrell are. And MCR back on the hards actually. MCR now, so that's to the end. Farrell back on mediums to the end. Yeah. Other than that, not much has happened.
Well, there is actually someone that has made up quite a significant amount of positions, and I was talking about it under the safety car, but it's Connor O'Keefe. He's made it from literally the back of the pack, and he's up to P10 after all of that went down and the pit stops. He's up to 10th position on those mediums because of everybody else just doing what happened on that restart. And now he's up to 10th. He's not necessarily out of a contention of maybe a top 5. I think the win might be a bit of a stretch unless some absolute chaos happens out of the front. But I don't think he's in for a win. I think he's definitely in for a shot of a top 5, especially on those medium tyres. And the fact that they're under the safety car on those medium tyres just means that they got more of an opportunity to, as I say, to stay out. It means that they're not going to burn up as much, or they're not going to wear as much as they would if they were fully racing, or under full race conditions, should I say. So, yeah, maybe those mediums for Mats, for Corley Kicker, for Old School, they're all going to run quite nicely. Maybe Connor O'Keefe might be the only one that struggles at the end because he's already been on these mediums for 9 laps. So it might be a struggle for him, but we'll see what YHY is able to do on the restart. For once, he's not actually having to follow on the restart. He's going to go for the restart. And in fact, he's already gone. And I think he has definitely caught Brent napping. And apologies about the sound glitch that's going on at the moment. But yeah, at the moment, YHY has had a very good restart. He's now managing to get a gap off Brent by 0.5 of a second. Rex, though, and Brent manages to sort of catch up on the straight after just burning up a bit of their ERS to get closer. But yeah, not really anything going down as I say that. In fact, Ryan B gets overtaken by both of the Alfa Romeos. Lars getting a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I'm not sure what happened with that. MCR back into the pits. So I'm not sure what's happened to the Spaniard there. The two Alfa Romeos side by side of each other. And in fact, Old School has got some front right end plate damage. And he's gone for the move on his teammates. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But Farrell now back down the inside of Old School and gets that move done. Ryan B also going for the move on Old School. So again, not sure what happened with him. But other than that, everyone else has just kept it nice and clean throughout the field. But yeah, I'm not sure what had happened towards the tail end of that field.
Yeah, I was a bit confused in MCR coming into the pits. Lars must have overtaken or started overtaking before the line. That's the only thing I can think of. Because there were no yellow flags that I could see down at turn 1. Unless I'm completely blind, but that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, as they come around, Connor O'Keefe gets a 3-second penalty for extending the final corner. Brent has now taken the lead of YHY. Slipstream down the straight into first place. This is going to get traded a few more times, I think. 12 laps after this one. As, yeah, YHY Rex, Brent still the 3 at the front, but Jordan staying closely with them on this restart. Which is good for him, because I just want to say, yeah, Jordan started down in 9th. So has made his way through the field. Matt's up from 18th to 6th. Not really sticking with Harry F at the moment, just that gap's kind of neutral. But in the mix, as I said, under the safety car. But yeah, MCR pitting is an interesting one. Come out on the hards. I didn't see anything that happened with MCR. It must have been before the safety car restart if it did. So yeah, absolutely God knows. But it's kind of, without another safety car, it's kind of put pay to any chances of points for MCR, who did so well after the sprint. It looks so good for him as Brent sets the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, DRS now enabled, and Ryan B is, there's quite an interesting battle down for P12 for final points playing position. Here comes Farrell, overtaking Jay Hings and Ryan B in one go. Down the inside of Ryan B is the gap still there, and they tag each other, and Farrell is off into the wall with damage.
Again, I'm not sure what happened at Ryan B again. I think just tagging the back of Farrell from what it looked like anyway, from what I could see from the stream. It's gone to chaos. It's all chaotic. It's all kicked off, and probably for a spectator's point of view, it's good to see, but for my point of view, after this, it's not good to see. So, yeah, I think these guys just need to sort of tone it down just a little bit. I understand, obviously, it's racing, but there's being aggressive, and then there's what's sort of going on within this race, and it's not nice to see. I've got to say so. Yeah, at the moment, no. Brent, YHY, Rex all running in unison for the time being. Same with Jordan. Harry F is still managing to just about cling on the DRS to the top 4. He's on the verge of losing that, though, and you can see just from straight line speed, it just looks like Jordan's got like superior straight line speed in comparison to Harry F. I think maybe in the corners, though, the Red Bull is able to keep up with that one, so probably has a bit more of a downforce setup in comparison to the Mercedes out in front of him. But yeah, at the moment, Brent's still the one that is in the lead. YHY in second, trying to chase down the Dutchman. And probably for once for this season, Brent not running away as what a lot of people would be expecting within Division 3. So yeah, I think he's now being put to a challenge by YHY and by Rex as well. Rex is probably going to be his best finishing position of the season so far. I mean, he's sitting down in what? On the standings, he's down in 15th. He's only had 2 points position finishes, one in P10 and one in P8. So P3 for him, and a P2 in the sprint. Not a bad night for the American, to say the least. Again, I can only apologise as well that there's some sound glitches going on in the game. Don't know why they're still about, but they are for some strange reason. Interestingly enough, though, Mats has lost the RS to Harry F, and now Hepler Boy is all over the back of the AlphaTauri. I don't think it's going to be a difficult move for the Mercedes to get the move done on the AlphaTauri. He's going to use the ERS and DRS. Straight down the inside he goes on Mats, and that's move done. And also move done for the lead. YHY now up into the top spot. And as I say, putting that pressure onto Brent as well. So now YHY up out on the lead of the race. And Brent now down into second. This battle's gonna keep on going on until the end of this race. It's just who's gonna emerge out on top. Will Brent manage to get it, or will YHY be able to pip up ahead of Brent? Only time will tell. In about 10 laps time, we'll then be able to find that one out. As yeah, Matt's now really struggling on these medium compounded tyres.
I think this has gone from one of the easiest tracks to pull away from people to maybe one of the hardest now with the layout of the final sector. I mean, with that chicane before on those tight corners, you could pull a nice gap before DRS where you weren't at risk of being overtaken and then pull away on the next lap. This time around, you get the DRS straight, you've got 4 corners, 2 of them medium speed, 2 of them flat out, before you're back on another DRS straight. It's impossible to pull away in the final sector, and that is what is keeping this race so close at the front. As Brent, you come around to the pit straight, DRS open, the gap's only 4 tenths, and here comes Brent flying down towards turn 1, going to retake the lead off YHY, and yeah, not even a contest in the end. YHY tried it a little bit on the brakes, but there was nothing really on the outside, behind already, has to settle for second. Brent back up into the lead. But I think that's what's keeping this so close. I mean, there are big gaps, and I think when the gaps form, then it's hard to close them again. But it's a difficult one to pull away. Once you've got that gap, you're fine. But as soon as someone's in DRS, you are in trouble in this around this track. With how it's the final sector's laid out, as Harry F goes very wide through the chicane of 7 and 8, and has now it did keep DRS, but should now lose it as he goes down the pit straight. But yeah, that top 4 pulling away. Farrell sets the fastest lap down in 16th. It's not going to come to anything because he's not in the points. 8 laps to go. Brent still leads from YHY, from Rex and Jordan. Gonna go down to the wire this podium. We can't rule anyone out of this 4.
No, we certainly can't. YHY does back off of that one. Doesn't want to go for the move into turn 1 ahead of the Dutchman. Jordan having a little bit of a wobble out of turn 1. Just lost a little bit of time to the top 3, but still managing to stay within the DRS of them all anyway. So top 4 all still keeping with each other. Yeah, again, the podium is hard to call because there's these 4 guys that are all battling it here. It's very tough to call on who's going to finish where in this top 4. Hepler Boy on his debut as well, up into 5th position. Gotta say, that's a very good result for him if he does manage to hold it in P5 for another 8 more laps. Then yeah, P5, very good finishing result to say the least. And Mr. Wow all over the back of Harry F. Again for P6. Don't forget Mr. Wow sitting in 4th in the standings. Despite being a reserve, he is not out of any sort of championship contention whatsoever either. As Cordy Kicker trying to go down the inside of Matt through turn number 10. Can go around the outside. A bit of contact, and that's meant that Mats has been spun around. Don't know if it was a bit of understeer from Mats, or I don't know if Cordy Kicker shut the door on him. Again, we'll probably find that out after the race. It kind of looked like Cordy Kicker had shut the door slightly on Mats, but here we go. I think another change for the lead of the race. In fact, no, YYY opts to stay behind the Dutchman for the time being, as Ryan B now also gets the move done on Matt. So Matt's now dropping down yet another position into P10. Very unfortunate for the Dutchman, but still at least getting points nonetheless. And especially on those medium tyres, he really has been struggling on those mediums in comparison to everybody else that's been around him. And especially with Ryan B being on 5-lap fresher tyres in comparison to AlphaTauri. I think that move was going to be inevitable at some given stage, but I think Cordy Kicker kind of sped up the process for that with all of that going down. But yeah, Brent's still leading this race with 7 laps left to go. I think unless YYY can try and close up a significant amount towards Brent and just keep applying that pressure to Brent making a mistake, then I think Brent might be the one that may take the win this race for this evening.
I am just keeping an eye on the ERS situation. Oh my god, this audio is is really painful to listen to. YY's currently got 60%. Brent's on 35, so there is quite a significant advantage. And actually, YY, yeah, he's backing off and saving his ERS, I think, a little bit, just towards to keep it for the final few laps. Maybe he goes on lap 31 and just tries to hold on for the last 2 laps with that ERS, I think, or maybe tries to get Brent to drain it all. I think that might be the way YY goes with it, and is in a very strong position to do so. Rex behind has got even less ERS than Brent, so it's not really looking behind him much. He just focused on Brent, and everything's in his favour at the moment. He clearly has the pace to overtake him down the straight. He's just deciding to sit back and just save it a little bit. So in a very, very good position. Brent's just punching the hole in the air for him, and he's just following him through until the time it is to pounce and take that win. But YY has won 1 race this season so far. He's only had the 1 podium, and that was the win at China. So either way, should get a podium from this race. But he's just biding his time with 4 laps to go at the end of this one. He's in prime position as Mats picks up a penalty.
Yeah, I think that might actually be. I think that might actually be the first 3-second time penalty, if I'm not mistaken. No, Conor O'Keefe to pick one up. That's in fact Lars. Gets a move done on Mats. Don't forget, Lars has got a 5-second penalty as well from the yellow flags. Potential to get it removed. We'll find out at the end of this race as well. But Cordy Kicker gets a move done on Mr. Vata as well. And Harry F all over the back of the Ferrari. See if maybe a move goes down between those guys. And in fact, Cordy Kicker now onto the back of Hepula Boy for P5. So we'll see if the new driver on his debut in the Mercedes is able to hold on ahead of Cordy Kicker, or if he's going to be under pressure from the rest of the guys and potentially lose out a few positions. But at the moment, he's doing a nice job just holding on to P5, keeping a nice distance between himself and Cordy Kicker for the time being. And in fact, actually is starting to gain slightly to the back of the top 4. So again, maybe with 4 laps left to go, we may see him potentially join the fray of what's going on out in front of him. But yeah, Brent now once again not going to get put under pressure from YY. I don't think. As to say that, in fact, the overspeed that Flynn's got, he's going to go down the inside towards turn number 1. YY now inherit the lead of round number 5 and see if he's able to hold on. Yes, he does. Brent was looking to try and go for a bit of a switchback, I think, but the Dutchman wasn't able to do it. Although saying that, I think he's using a bit of ERS to see if he can go for it in towards turn 4, but no, has to hold on back. And now Rex is seeing if he can maybe try and go for any sort of move on the rest of these guys as well. But I think, once again, has to hold on for the time being. Don't forget, what happened with the start of the MCR, it was Brent that did tag him around. So a steward's report could come out a bit later on, or steward's report inquiry could come out, and Brent could be a bit trouble for that. So for the time being, though, obviously you just got to drive and just, we'll find out what happens at the end of the race. But yeah, YHY is still in the lead. I don't think that's going to last that much longer, especially when they get into that DRS straight going down into towards turn 1. But is Brent going to go for the move into turn 1, or is he going to hold on back and wait for a move maybe on lap 32 or even the final lap to go for his move on the fin? We'll wait and see, as DRS now wide open for the Dutchman. He's closing onto the back of the fin, and he's going to go for the move. So he's going for it. Emerges now back into the lead of this race. Means that YHY can just save a bit more ERS and just chill behind Brent for a bit more. As Conor O'Keefe now another 3-second time penalty for the Ferrari. But yeah, you can just chill behind him for now. And yeah, we'll see if YHY is going to be able to re-overtake Brent, or if Brent's going to be able to hold on ahead of him.
I think Brent's quite happy with leading this race and just trying to defend with his ERS. I think YHY's strategy, maybe he just went one lap too early on that. So now he's got 1-2 last tries at the to try and take the lead and do what I think he's going to do and just get it and then go full power for one lap just to defend. But yeah, I think Brent's very happy with this situation. I think he can pull enough of a gap that it's not an easy overtake for YHY down the pit straight. But as I say that, it's 5 tenths. I think the gap last lap was 4 tenths when they got onto the pit straight. So he can pull that gap in that final sector, but it's just, and YHY isn't pushing this lap, so I think he's going to hold it to the next lap, as there's an Alfa Romeo coming out of the pits. That would be Farrell getting lapped. But we've got this is the penultimate lap. We're going to have one more time down the pit straight, and that is the main overtaking place, turn 1. Really, there are a few other places when it's all bunched up, but when they're going at full speed like this, turn 1 becomes really the only overtaking spot on the track. Even with all the changes to the track, it's still really the only place. It's just a hell of a lot easier to do it now. As YHY sitting in behind, MCR sets the fastest lap of the race. Still outside the points, he did pit again. He was close to 12th, but pit again, put on the softs and takes the fastest lap in 14th. It has spread out a little bit behind. Rex not so close as he was before. I thought when Brent was up behind YHY that Rex was going to have a try on the fin, but he did not. And actually YHY's got Farrell right in front of him. I don't know how off-putting that is for him, but he's a bit closer than he was last lap. So let's see what the run through the final corner is like. It's good, but Brent's was a little bit better. Is he close enough to try and make a move on the Dutchman? Full overtake for Brent. Brent's out of ERS now. It's going to be a last gap thing for YHY. Late on the brakes, down to turn 1. Brent able to hold it round the outside, and all of that from YHY. I think he did just go a few laps early, because I think if that's lap 32 he's doing that, he gets the move done. Personally, but I don't think Brent fights as much as he did, but Brent just knew he had to give everything for that one go. And unless there's another gap for YHY down here at the chicane, I don't think he's going to get the room there. No, he's not, and they stay in position, but he's looking for a way past. I just think it's a bit too late now.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I think what he tried to also do was make sure that he didn't get DRS to Farrell. Because of Farrell being that lap car, he was all over the back of that. And yeah, Farrell sorry, it was Oscar actually just moving out of the way of those guys. But yeah, I think Brent has managed to hold on to that one after a last lap attempt from the fin. Brent, our championship leader, is going to extend that championship lead out. He will take the checkered flag and takes a win for round number 5 in the feature race of the Spanish Grand Prix. YHY does take second, and I think inherits second in the championship now as well. And Rex, give yourself a round of applause, taking third position. First podium of the season. Very well done to you indeed, and a very good result for him as well. Jordan, very close to getting himself onto the podium, but the top three, it's just if he wasn't in that DRS train with them, he probably had an opportunity of that podium for this evening. But unfortunately for him, fourth is best he's going to have to settle. Coolie Kicker, after what happened on that first lap, manages to make his way back up to P5. So a very good recovery drive for Coolie Kicker. Hepula Boy on his debut ends up finishing in 6th with Mr. Varta in 7th, and I think actually jumps up to 3rd in the standings. I have to double check that after this, but potentially moves up to 3rd in the standings. Both of the Red Bulls in 8th and 9th, but Ryan B could be under the stewards for quite a bit of what's happened for this evening. Jay Hings ends up finishing in 10th, Matt's in 11th, and Lars taking the final points position in the feature race for this evening. Conor O'Keefe in 13th, with MCR in 14th, Stomper in 15th, Farrell managed to unlap himself in 16th, and it's just kind of chilling there. And that's it done.
Sorry, Farrell was the last one to cross the line. I say cross the line. He didn't really cross the line. He managed to crash into the barrier on the left and then went through the floor.
Oh.
So I was just watching him on board with him going through the floor. Sorry, that was hilarious. I don't know. I think it was just my screen, but it's just flipping on my screen.
Fair enough. That was very close, but I didn't manage to see that. I wish I would have seen that. That would have been quite entertaining. But yes, that was it for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is Brent that did emerge out on top. As I say, YSHY in 2nd and Rex in 3rd, I'd say, for the first podium of the season for himself. It was Jordan that took 4th, Coolie Kicker in 5th, and Hepula Boy in 6th, Varta in 7th, or Mr. Varta in 7th, sorry, should I say. Harry F in 8th. Ryan beat in 9th with Jay Hings in 10th, Matt's in 11th, and Lars, as I say, taking the final points position for this evening. Conor O'Keefe taking 13th, MCR 14th, with the fastest lap of the race. Very, very unfortunate for the Spaniard. I know he's not going to be very happy with what happened, especially after that sprint race for himself as well. Stomper in 15th, with Farrell in 16th, Old School in 17th, Julie Show in 18th, Cam in 19th, and Crack in last as well. Both, all three of Julie Show, Cam, K, and Crack not seeing the checkered flag as well. But as I say, Brent now extends that championship lead. Don't know if he will remain in Division 3 for that much longer, interestingly enough. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Might go down maybe a bit later on. Getting told by Rex, he might have had COVID, so that might be his lucky charm, apparently. So that's a bit interesting. But, I mean, other than that, Ross, any sort of final words for what happened for this evening?
Just, I don't know. It was just, there was so much going on. I'm still a bit confused by everything that's just happened. The race at the front was great, and then, yeah, I don't know. There's so many incidents behind. Have to see what happens with that Brent MCR incident, because that, if that's penalised, that could drop Brent very far down, because it was quite close at the end. I think there was about 2.5 seconds separating the top 4, and then it was 5 seconds is down to like 7th, so it could drop him down quite far. But we'll have to wait and see when the stewards report comes out with that one.
Yeah, we certainly will, and I can already see that there's 3 different reports going on with within Division 3, so this is going to be absolutely fun. But thank you to everybody that has tuned in for this evening. Make sure you guys are checking out Division 2 and Division 4, which will be starting in about 20 minutes' time at 8 to 10 p.m. at BST. Division 2 covered by Old School, and I think it was Funky Chicken, but it might be somebody different now, so I might have to double check that in a minute. But Division 4 will be covered by QVR Verstappen and I believe NSX Montana. So make sure you guys are tuned into those as well. But yeah, thank you to everybody that has tuned in for this evening, and we'll catch you guys next week for round number 6 around Imola.